Three tower blocks behind me are Coulsonton, Allen and Draffin Towers, 20-storey residential properties. They're approximately 59 metres high and they are constructed of reinforced concrete, a large panel system. To enable the safe explosive demolition, we will be installing approximately 4,120 explosive charges and 150 kilograms of explosives. Hi, my name's Paul Tibbett. I'm the Demolition Project Manager for Thompson's of Prudhoe. Thompson's commenced the programme of works in November 2024. So over these last 12 months, our scope of works has been to declad all three of these tower blocks of the external metal cladding. So to do that, we used the mass climber working platform system to enable our operatives to gain safe access to heights. The biggest challenge associated with this project is obviously we are surrounded, we're in a residential area. On the day of the blowdown, on Sunday the 7th of December, we have approximately 351 houses to vacate, along with 11 commercial stakeholders. So working in conjunction with our client, with North Lanarkshire Council, we have to ensure that the evacuation is complete. Scotland Police are also searching the full exclusion zone. So with our sentries and a combination of Scottish Police, we have to ensure that the full exclusion zone is fully vacated prior to us bringing these buildings down safely. It's not just what's above ground, it's what's below ground. So below ground we have a lot of utility providers. So on this project specifically, we have Scottish Gas, Scottish Water and Scottish Power, and also Virgin Media and BT comms cables underneath the slab level. So all our works above ground are in accordance with protecting everything that is also below ground.
So the first step in planning a project like this, so bearing there's 18 months of planning before we get to a blowdown day like today. So the first step is to look at comparative methods of demolition. So there's more than one method that we can use when we approach the demolition of 3 19-storey tower blocks. We've got to make sure it's the correct fit for the local environment, the hazards and the constraints. So it's a selection through comparative risk assessment, high-level meetings with the client and stakeholders, and then in this case determining that simultaneous blowdown is the most practicable and safe method of work. Hi, I'm Chris Dobson, I'm the Health and Safety Director for Thompson's of Prudhoe. Stakeholder engagement's key to a project like this, as I'm sure you'll understand. So it's 18 months of planning and collaborative work. So huge thanks to the local community here who've been very understanding. Obviously we've kept them through the council informed every step of the way through things like face-to-face meetings and letter drops and so on. But thanks must go out to the local community who've been really supportive of the site team and who've engaged in the evacuation process so well. So this is Thompson's 8th explosive demolition project. So similar project-wise, in November last year we undertook the explosive demolition of a 17-storey former residential tower block in Newcastle. It was Hexham House in Walker. So almost 12 months ago to this day, give or take. Working with North Lanarkshire Council and through the liaison meetings, we're identifying the key stakeholders, the local community. We're looking at specific protection measures for properties that are close to the tower blocks. We've got dust mitigation in place, so some really innovative controls for dust mitigation, which I'm sure you'll see at the time of the blowdown and on the videos and so on. 18 months of pre-work to lead to a safe event.
All the charges that we've got in these blocks are separated by time delays. So there's about 150 kilos of explosives in total going to be fired, and that is going to take about 8.6 seconds from when we've pressed the button at the firing point to when the final explosive charge in the last block is detonated. I'm Robin Rushforth. I'm Director and Explosive Engineer at PDC Engineering, and welcome to Motherwell. PDC is specialist explosive subcontractors, and we're actually working on this project with the main contractor, who are Thompson's of Prudhoe. We've worked with them on a number of projects, and every project we've worked on with them, it has been a total pleasure. When we plan the demolition of these buildings, we look around the outside of them and we determine how much space we have available to us, and we look at which way we want the debris pile to collapse. We influence how the building collapses by introducing time delays in between the explosive charges. Now these time delays work across each level, so from ground level from the front towards the back, but we also then split time delays working up the buildings as well, from the bottom firing up. When we actually look at the footprint that will be occupied by the debris pile after the buildings have been demolished, If we see that we have any conflicts there, for example, the debris pile looks like it would go out and come close to a retained wall or a retained building or something, what we've had to do in a couple of locations on this site is we've actually put skips or containers in around the outside of the building, and they will prevent debris spread. So, for example, the block that we're in now, on the northwest corner of it, we have a road which is only about 5 metres away. Well, that road would potentially get some debris on it. We've actually put a row of steel containers around the outside of there. They have been filled or part filled with hardcore to give them some weight to stop them from moving, but also, more importantly, those containers are also tethered back to this building using big heavy wire ropes, big steel ropes. So as the hardcore builds up, as the building collapses, it'll build up against those containers, and that will prevent them from being pressed out and slide out into the roadway.
Floor point, radio check. 1, all clear. 11, all clear. Section 24, all clear.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fire now, fire now.
The buildings have got huge historical importance. When they were built in the late 60s, very, very high demand, people wanted to stay in them. However, over a long period of time, we have 15,000 people on the waiting list in North Lanarkshire for housing. However, unfortunately, people are now telling us they don't want to stay in tower blocks, they want front and back doors. So on that basis, Council made the decision that we would re-provision and build new houses on the site. But the flats overall have got huge historical importance. Myself, I was actually brought up in a tower block in Coatbridge, so this has got something that actually very, very meaningful to me as well. Hi, I'm Stephen Llewellyn, I'm the Chief Officer for Housing at North Lanarkshire Council. So it's been a very complex and difficult demolition project, but overall it's been dealt with very, very professionally. So the 3 tower blocks behind me are about to be blown down. 300 odd families were in them over a period of time, really high demand properties, but the council made a decision in 2018 to demolish all 48 tower blocks in North Lanarkshire, and this is part of that overall regeneration project.
Well, it's a lot of friends and family growing up who's lived in these towers, and it's sad to see them go.
The towers are just in front of our house. Exciting and cool to watch them go down.
So do you live in the local area?
Yes, I've done for all my life. The interaction with Thompson's has been excellent after the meetings and stuff.
Today was an absolute success. So myself and the team, we were in here since 6 o'clock this morning, doing all our briefings and toolbox talks. North Lanarkshire Council commenced the evacuation around about 8:30. We had confirmation that everyone was out just after 10 o'clock, which was absolutely fantastic. It's what we planned. Scottish Police then carried out their checks internal around the full exclusion zone, and they give us the green light. It was around about 12:20. Once Thompson's, myself, PDC, our explosive engineers, Percy's principal designer in North Lanarkshire Council, we were all happy. Then that's our green light to go. And then at roughly 12:30 today, we pressed the button, and a very successful blowdown of 3 20-storey tower blocks, which we're absolutely over the moon about.